Hello guys, so I'll be showing you on how to animate on Roblox Studio using Moon Animator. So let's get started. This is Moon Animator. You can use this to animate your things such as this. Yeah, it's very messy, I know. Now to start, you can press New Moon File to create an animation and go to Items to click and press Add to add the animation you want. For example, I want to animate this soldier man particularly, and I messed up very big. I'm sorry. Alright, let's go. Now to explain this is your character that you want to animate. Very nice, right? Now, here's some key sets to remember by. For example, if you press Ctrl H, you can show this thing right here. This is the bar where you're gonna animate your things. Yes. Now press Ctrl H again to hide it. Now, if you want to see this, the blue squares, that's basically the rig. You can use this to animate. For example, I want him to move here, there, and that. Now to rewind it, you can either press Shift Z to rewind it and to put it back in place, basically reversing it, or not Control Y, but Shift Y to undo the undoing. Yeah, that's about it. Now here's some basic keyframes. For example, this is chess. Oh no, it's gone. Just press Shift H or Control H again to show the rigs. Alright, now I'm gonna show you on how to animate. For example, I want him to move right here. Or, oh wait, I forgot. You have to make a idle animation first before doing any of that. For example, this. I'm gonna make him T-pose or something. I'm gonna do this and this, and that's about that. Oh, to select things, you just have to click them or press Control and click to select them individually, or just press Shift and Control here, right here. Shift and click. Not Shift and Control, sorry. Just Shift and click. Also, to select this, you can just do the same thing. Just Shift and click. Yes. Now to select them all on the rigs or the circles, just Control and click to select all of them. Now about the animating. Here, for example, I want him to T-pose towards this guy, for example, this noob. There. Now it should be working. Yes, he's T-posing very menacingly. Now here you can you can see that if you do that, he will move right there. But you can adjust the speed and movement by doing this. And also, if you try to scroll with your mouse, you can actually adjust the time frame with this. For example, I want it for 30 milliseconds or something, or just this 20 milliseconds. But if you move this here, it will move very fast and quick. Look. Oh wait, it's lagging. God damn it. Yeah, that's about it. As you can see, it will glitch out if you try to move it even closer by doing that because it's very fast. And also, it also depends on the position. For example, I put the position right here at a very far distance. Since the keyframe is very short, as you can see, it will move very quick and fast like he was the Flash, and see them and he's gone. Now, for example, with this movement, I can basically animate him jumping. Boing. Boing. And that's basically how you animate him. Now, watch and learn. It's very slow, I know, but you can adjust it yet again by just moving the circles to make it even faster or quick at least. Now that's out of the way, there's another thing that you should know. If you select them all and press 7, you can actually change the settings. For example, I want him to move none. That's basically like a stop motion animation. Now look, it changes a lot, like a lot. It's very funny looking if you do it correctly. Now for example, I want it to return back. You can either press Shift Y or Shift Z. I mean Shift Z. Just press Shift Z to return it back, and Shift Y to undo it. Now, for example, I want it to be something else like this sign. I don't know what does it does, but mostly I didn't touch any of that. I mostly animate with linear or none to make a stop motion animation when I'm either lazy to make it even smoother or just, yeah. Now that's out of the way, I'll be explaining on the type of animation things you can do. For example, this gun, of course, I want to add it. You just have to click on the gun and you can see this, the rig. You can still select it and add it. The heavy gun. You have to make sure the C frame is enabled because otherwise it won't be registered as an animation. Now you can click pick here on which parts you want to do. For example, the size, you want to change the size of the gun during the animation, or do you want to make it disappear or change color? But right now I want to change the size and the transparency of the gun. For example, the gun is like right here. I want him to follow the guy. So what I'll do, I'll just move the gun directly right to him, and that's about it. Yet again, you can change the things, like I said, you can just put it to none to make it a stop motion movement. And right now, for example, about the changing size, yeah, right here. For example, I want to make it smaller. I'll just go to scale and select the gun, for example, and there we go. It will be a lot more smaller. Boom, a very big gun indeed. There we go. And now, for example, the transparency yet again. If you do this, for example, change the number into 1, it will automatically make it disappear. But here's the neat part. Look, see it change shapes. But if I, for example, turn this area into none, it won't disappear until it hits this area. But for example, you want to make it disappear slowly, you can just do this. Turn it back to linear and adjust it accordingly and make it far, or just add another keyframe. For example, you don't want it to disappear immediately. You want it to change into for like 0.2 or 3. But for now, I'm gonna use 0.2 for example, like this. It will slightly disappear and it will now disappear. And about the none, yes, the none part, you can basically make it teleport or use the size, for example, like this. I want to change it slowly too. I want to change the size slowly. There we go. Also, if you change the none, I mean, if you change the parts of linear into none, you can basically make it stay that same shape until it reaches the certain threshold or the point. Hold on, I'm gonna just change this real quick, and there we go. See, it doesn't change until it reaches here. Alright, that's the basic part of animations, and thank you for listening. Oh wait, there's one more. Yeah, about the camera, you can use this to create scenes. Like for example, I want this scene to be here, and later on I want it to change right here. Now if I play, now for example, I don't want it to be moving. I just want it to stand still and basically, like every movie, just turn into a new cutscene. Just press none. Just change it again. Just click and press 7 and change it the linear into none, and there we go. It's done. And also you can add a camera. Actually, you can add a camera instead of moving it manually. You just have to, for example, let me just get a part real quick. I'm just, yes, this part, I'm gonna rename it. Oh, also This is a very important part. You have to change the name. Otherwise, it will make the animation broken and render something else. So you have to be very clear on what part do you add and what's the name of that part specifically. Otherwise, that property will be basically worthless or just glitching out. Also, when animating, do not move any parts. I repeat, do not move any parts when you have registered the animation. Otherwise, it will be basically teleporting or animating in somewhere other than the animation you want in. And yeah, so look, I'm gonna change the name. For example, I want it camera number 3 since I made an animation before. Also, trying to animate a part that has the same name, it will cause an error, or either you change that part or delete the other part, it will register as the newer one. And here, this is the camera. And here, you have to click on the three dots near the camera, not the camera number 3, but the camera here, and press attach to part, and there we go. Now press plus sign and press 7. Then to set the part, you just have to click this and set. There we go, the camera is set. Now to move the camera. Yeah, it's working very perfectly. Like again, if you try moving it, for example here, it will follow that movement. And you can just do this again, just like what I did. Or just do the same thing what I did to turn it into a cutscene. Just press 7, then turn the linear into none, and that's basically gonna teleport crazy. Alright. Now that's out of the way, the basic parts of animations, and it's already been done. You can now start animating, and very much good luck. So guys, today I'll be teaching you on how to animate using Moon Animator in Roblox Studio. So in this scene, I just added the characters in Moon Animator so I can begin animating them. To start animating, you just have to go to the items, then click add, then press any NPC or item that you want to animate with, and that's about it. On any NPC or humanoid characters in your game, of course. By doing this, you will be adding them into the animation, in which you can see these are rigs. What rigs are basically the things that you can move. For example, I want them to move here, there, this, and that. That's basically how you animate. That's about it. Now to do the movement and stuff, it's very easy, but the issue is it's very complicated on how do you execute the animations. To begin with, for example, I want him to move to this guy, of course. So I'll just move his torso right next to him and see how it plays. Yes, perfect indeed. Now, depending on the several factors such as the positioning of the character and which area. For example, if I do this, well, hold on, do this and proceeded to move him right here. Because of the time frame that is very short, it's gonna move very fast and quick. Now, if you want, you can just adjust the movement right here to make it slower or faster. Now that's out of the way, we can start showing you on how to animate. For example, I want to make him move and try fighting this guy for no reason at all. And here you can just copy the movement. For example, you're lazy to animate the rest of the movement. You just have to press C, then press Shift and 5, and there we go. We just copy paste it. Now what I do during these scenes, I just do the same thing here. I just Control C with the torso and press it here, then just move it. It's basically like a shortcut for animating your walking animation. But I don't do that too much, I just basically animate it manually. It looks ugly, I know, but soon it will be absolutely good by changing the movements and preferences on how does it. Oh my god, I'm lagging. I'm lagging like crazy. Now to do this and a bit of that, a bit of pizzazz to begin with, and there we go. Now to add the movement to make it more even realistic, I just basically do this, or for example this one, where I try making it even more realistic by adding a bit of motion to it to make it even more real, or at least good. And that's about it. Now let's see, a bit too fast, so we can just adjust the movement by doing this, adjusting the keyframes by slightly moving it to make it even more smooth and non-robotic, or just plain outright ugly. By doing this, I could basically make the animation a bit more smoother, or at least a bit more realistic. A bit too slow, so I'll just adjust it again. Okay. So if you try moving them all in once, you can just press this, click one, any, you can just click anything here and just press shift, then click to select everything, and that's about it. Or if you want, you can just select one thing at a time. For example, you want to select this part specifically, you can just press it. Or if you want to click another thing to make sure that it's separate, you can just control click. Oh, you can just press control click to select every keyframe, or just press shift to select something individually. And by doing this, I can basically animate him getting kicked by this soldier man.